While they weren't as dominant as last year, the results remain the same for Damascus football as the Swarming Hornets again went 14-0 to win the Maryland 3A title. And unlike their championship game breeze in 2015, DeMatha had to gut it out, beating Franklin behind a big-time defensive effort. The head coach of the Swarming Hornets, Eric Wallich, joined me on the final drive, and I asked him if the old Rudy Tomjanovich line, "Never underestimate the heart of the champion," was a fitting slogan for his team's gutty state championship win.
I really do. Yeah, it was quite a test for us. Both playing a good football team in Franklin and all the other injuries and stuff like that we were battling through. It was definitely a huge test, and I was real proud of our guys for pulling it out.
Yeah, you talk about the injuries, and obviously you start right under center as your backup quarterback has to come in and play for you. And as Slade Ripien was out with an ankle injury that I believe, according to reports, was sustained while he was changing a tire on his car. You can't get much more unlucky than that. Talk about that whole situation and the performance of your backup.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. We had our last practice on Tuesday, and he's leaving and gets a flat tire and goes to change his tire, and the jack flips out and the car kind of rolls on his ankle, and so he has like a freak injury. And so on Wednesday's practice is only it's a short one because it's the day before the game, and John Allen we're preparing him as to be the starter, and he gets reps throughout the regular week, but it's not very much. And it was unbelievable of him to have to start his first high school football game in the state championship, and I thought he did a tremendous job under the circumstances, and was real proud of how he did.
Yeah, and I think even in some of the articles I read, he gets the big play to Bettarelli for the touchdown, and then only had the one turnover, so that was big to not kind of give the game away and let your defense figure it out. And Coach, it was one thing. They kind of shut your running game down in the contest, something that really no one's been able to do all year. Your defense has to step up, and if pardon me if I'm not correct, but it seems like that was their first big-time minutes, I guess a little bit in the state semifinal, but maybe pressure situation since that opener against Quince Orchard to kind of step up like they did when they hadn't been called upon like that for a while. How proud of you are you of that unit?
Extremely. And you're exactly right. It was, they haven't been tested like that the whole season. I guess you're right. Quince Orchard the first week, and that was a tough one, but and they got their backs against the wall so many times in this last game. There was like one drive where they were inside like the 10-yard line, like 7 plays in a row. Just because we held them. They go for a field goal. We roughed. We didn't rough. We got blocked into the kicker and got called. But they just kept finding a way. And there's so many times in my own mind I was like, oh my God, I don't know if we can win this with the way we're playing, and but the defense bailed us out, no doubt.
And the big guy there last night, Colby Starheim, with 3 interceptions. Coach, you've been doing this a long time. Have you ever seen a guy put that type of performance on in a game, much less a state championship game?
No. I think he tied our school record for interceptions in a game. And for it to be on that stage was huge by him. And he's a really smart player. He's kind of been our quarterback back there all year. And it doesn't surprise me, but it was huge that he played that well.
And from what I'm gathering, is that a combo of film study and just intuition that he's making those plays?
Exactly. I think having the extra week to prepare, that we really knew them inside and out, and the defensive game plan was rock solid as far as everybody knowing what to do. And he did a good job of just seeing what he saw and making the play. So it was kind of a perfect storm for him.
Talking to Eric Wallich, head coach of the Damascus Swarming Hornets, the 3A state champs in Maryland after their thrilling 14-12 win against Franklin last night. And, of course, Coach, it's funny. I was thinking about this morning before I called you up. You know, that team you had last year, so dominant the way they finished things off behind Jake Funk and that his 7-touchdown performance in the state championship game. But part of me thinks, I wonder if this junior the junior class that was on that team last year, seniors this year, they can say to themselves, hey, man, we were able to kind of knock off Franklin, the team that we couldn't get a couple years ago. How proud was the team to kind of go back and maybe rewrite that wrong from their past?
I think they were extremely proud. You could hear it in some of the interviews after the game when I heard reporters talking to the kids, and they really seemed to want that badly and feel like they got kind of a monkey off their back. And it's always, you know, a great feeling to beat the team that beat you. And, you know, there's only three kids on that team that played in that game. But, you know, one of them was Marcus Vincent and Mikey Bradshaw and Sean Jenkinson. They really all spoke of that a lot.
It seemed that way, and of course, Vincent had a key fumble in that game a few years ago, and again, didn't have his normal game last night, but did get the big first down to clinch the game for you guys. And Coach, what was the feeling like when you kind of looked around after that first down and you knew you guys had it won?
I mean, it's just indescribable how good that feels, and, you know, the sense of work that everybody's put in, you know, all season long from the end of the championship last year till now. And, you know, the whole community of Damascus wants to win this thing so bad, and to be able to give that to them just is a great feeling.
Now, Coach, you guys move forward again. And again, I don't want to take away the glow of this one already, but I'm sure some folks will be saying, hey, can they three-peat? Can they do this? I'm not going to ask you that, but what's the secret, do you think, to go ahead and maintaining this thing at this level so you guys can compete for that again next year?
Well, we do have a lot of guys coming back. We have, you know, the whole line is back. You know, there's definitely a lot of young players on this team, so they certainly have the personnel to do it, and it's just a matter of putting in the hard work and staying hungry in the off season. You know, the first day of next season is today, so it's a matter of what they do from this point till then. It's going to decide if they can do it, but they certainly have the talent, and you know, there's a lot of tradition, a lot of pride, and it's kind of an expectation every year to get to the state championship when you go to Damascus. And, you know, I think if you ask every single kid, that's what they think every year. They're going to go to states and win it, and it's something they can do, and we'll work our tails off to do it.
Coach, we'll ask you one personal one to go ahead and wrap this up. If I remember correctly, last year was your first state title as a head coach. You'd won some as a player, you know, as an assistant. You'd been on some squads, but never won as the head coach. How did this one feel different from maybe last year's matchup?
Well, last year it was just kind of, you know, a personal sense of accomplishment as far as just doing it as the head coach for the first time. It was just, you know, you always wonder if you're ever going to be able to get one, and there's a lot of satisfaction in finally getting one. And it was so dominant last year, just the whole season. It was just kind of an unbelievable season, and this season was a lot more scrapping and clawing to get it. Same sense of, you know, euphoria, and now it's just kind of like, you know, feathers in your cap. Just feels great to do it, and you just want to keep doing it every time.
That was Damascus head coach Eric Wallich. Hear interviews like that one every week during the football season on my show, The Final Drive, which can be found right here on DMVSTREAM.com, as DMV Stream is your home for the best high school sports content in the D.C. metro area.